Hey, everybody, how's it going? Tonight with me, I have my co-host, Filia Noctis,
Hello, everybody.
and our guest tonight is Midnight Researcher.
Greetings, horror fans. My name is Midnight
Researcher.
Researcher, and I am actually the one hosting the stream tonight, oddly enough. But I want to thank PA and Philia for having me on here tonight.
You're very welcome. And I can attest that they can hear us.
Okay, so unfortunately, Mina could not be here with us tonight. We don't actually know what happened, but we're just going to keep trying to go on without her. If she joins mid-show, that'd be great. If she doesn't, we'll just keep going, I guess.
Yep. We'll just
The
soldier
show
on.
must go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, how you been? We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, I think the last time we've been on one of these was like almost a year ago since the last time I was on Traveler's Tavern. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. Lots of things have happened between then and now. Um,
definitely.
but before we get into that, why don't you tell anybody that's new a little bit about your channel and what you do and who you
Well,
are?
I am Seth. Not my real name, but it's the name that I go by. Shockingly to some, because they think my real name is Seth, because they're crazy people. But anyway, I am Seth, Midnight Researcher. I'm a horror content creator. I like to make things about horror. Yeah, obviously. uh, Primarily, at least right now, I'm focusing on making creepypasta videos and horror gaming videos, and even more recently, I have started my aspiring career as being a Twitch streamer and a VTuber, because that's very, very popular right now, and I really like the appeal of that. So I decided, why not become one myself and build my own community?
Oh, wow. So you have been very busy.
Yeah, definitely. You could say that.
So, last time you were here, I believe we were talking just a little bit about VRCon.
HorrorCon.
HorrorCon, yeah.
HorrorCon
VR
VR, but
HorrorCon.
VRCon is a different. It is actually a thing. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh, okay.
VRCon and HorrorCon VR are different things.
Okay. HorrorCon VR.
Yes, and obligatory HorrorCon VR advertisement here. It is happening again this year. Not on Halloween though, which is kind of disappointing. But what can you do? HorrorCon VR is a virtual reality convention held in the game VR Chat, where horror content creators, artists, narrators, and everybody from all walks of life who like horror can join and interact and meet up and do very special events and have very special fun times and just get together. And there was one for 2 years in a row, and this year is the third annual HorrorCon VR. So if you're interested, go look up HorrorCon VR on Twitter and Discord, and I believe there's a website for that. And yeah, it's run by Mr. Creepypasta, one of the, I think, yeah, the original Creepypasta narrator on YouTube, and aided by a lot of other horror writers and creepypasta enthusiasts like Jack Townsend, who wrote Tales from the Gas Station, and just people like me, regular people, smaller content creators like myself, Soda Cat, Lou, Azurine Fox, and you guys were there last year, like Filia,
We
PA,
were.
Creepy Clown Girl, Mina, and just everybody's there. So check it out if you're interested.
I'm working on getting that link right now.
All right, that's the
Yeah, it was
plug.
a lot of
So
fun last year.
It was.
Me and Filia, and did a little live rating on there.
oh, did you? I wasn't actually there for that. What
I
No,
did?
remember
I thought you
the
were.
panel that you hosted.
Oh, at my panel. Okay, I thought you guys meant
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
something on your
We
Yeah,
own.
we did a live read at your no
no,
no
no, no. We
at your panel.
on your
We
thing.
did a
We
live
did
read.
Midnight
we
Society
did that
VR.
live rating. Yep.
I really enjoyed that. I thought that was so much fun,
A lot of
and it's
people.
much more challenging.
Yeah, it
It
was a blast.
it was pretty nice to see that some people, especially Kawaii Poltergeist, said that a lot of people, including them, said that that panel was their favorite panel because it felt like they were actually in like a theater or an auditorium listening to a bunch of spooky stories, and I thought it was really, really nice.
Oh, that is a
That
neat
is awesome.
compliment. Yeah, it is.
And
Cool.
I planned to continue that series like off of HorrorCon, and I still do. It's just that a lot of stuff happened between now and then that has um, I've encountered some difficulties in trying to commission a custom map for that because I don't just want to keep borrowing environments from other people's maps to do that. So once I get a hand on once I get a handle on doing everything that is needed to commission a custom VR chat map for Midnight Society VR, it will return, and I will probably even be inviting these two wonderful people who are here with me tonight onto the fourth installment of Midnight Society VR.
I would love to participate.
Yep, always happy to lend my voice where needed.
We can finally get you that sweet that VR chat avatar that I had commissioned for you, Filia. You can finally use that.
Really, you're still there?
Did we lose Filia?
It seems like we might have.
Filia? You muted by accident?
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're back.
Okay. Oh, that was weird.
Again now.
That was weird.
Did you hear what I
I
said?
don't know what happened. I heard what you said. I was trying to respond. I was like, yes, I can't wait to put on that avatar.
Okay, good.
I was so excited, and I was so hoping that we would get it for con last year.
Yeah, it's just that the artist took a little bit longer to do it than we had
And
anticipated.
that happens.
But yeah,
It happens. And it was very last minute anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, and you and CCG can take lots of wonderful pictures together in your VR avatars.
Yeah.
Huh.
Next step would be getting PA and Mia avatars.
Right. There was, oh my gosh, whose booth was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I lost the name of the person whose booth it was. Who helps us? Who helps run this?
Mr. Creepypasta?
Right. Okay. I don't think it was his. It was, but someone who's really close with him. Their booth was in a corner. Anyway, in their booth they had, it was really cool because you could go in it and you'd stand behind this like desk and you'd look out towards the opening, and all of a sudden you were looking at a mirror. Nightmind. Okay.
Yeah. Nightmind, Nick Nocturne, famous horror content creator here on YouTube. Yes.
I got over and I was looking at the artist, the paintings and stuff on the walls, and he had some little X-rated cards, like this. They would be like the size of a deck of cards, kind of, and he just had them tucked into various places.
Yeah, exactly. And if anyone wants to know, like, an example of what we're talking about, you can actually take a look at the video that's on this podcast here. And my Twitter profile, the background banner for that is a picture that most of the people who attended the HorrorCon, at least most of the notable people who attended HorrorCon, all took together. And includes people like myself, obviously, Apostle, Anime Rogue, Nightmind, Old Man Murphy, Mia, Mr. Creepypasta, obviously, Azurine Fox, Creepy, the musical artist Creepy, who makes a lot of Vocaloid stuff and also now makes just songs and stuff and is really awesome. Just, yeah, a bunch of people. Moradal, obviously. I think we've had Moradal on this show or the other show on the channel. Yeah, lots and lots of people. Lots and lots of people from all walks of life, all interested in horror and all willing to get into VR to meet with each other when, meeting in real life might be difficult.
Yeah, it was.
I can't recall, but I think I might be in that picture, but I can't remember anymore.
I know T-Stash was in that picture, and you were in a couple pictures of the rave after party. Oh God,
Yep, I'm in that
don't.
one. I can. I'm the avatar on the way back with the book on my chest. That was
Ah,
what the
yeah.
I should be in that
You
black cat suit with the big round head.
you read Joe and Pop's coffee shop during the Midnight Society.
Yeah,
Love that
I
story.
love that story.
All right, so that's pretty much all I have to say about HorrorCon. But there has been a couple other things that I've done, and a couple other things that I want to do. So, are you guys either are you guys familiar with Marble Hornets, the horror web series?
I am not.
Slenderman, how Slenderman got popular, Marble Hornets.
Okay, yeah. I uh, understand the concept of how that, you know,
PA.
or urban legend becoming real kind of thing.
I've never heard of Marble Hornets, but I do know. I do obviously I do know Slender Man and all that.
Well, Marble Hornets was the first attempt by anybody to bring Slenderman into video medium instead of just pictures. It is where the little X symbol came from, and it is where Slenderman got most of his tropes and mythos from. Is Marble Hornets. A bunch of young adults came together and made a 87 entry long web series centered around Marble Hornets, a film that one of the characters was making in the universe of, and this film was ruined by the Slender Man, aka the operator, showing up, and things just devolved from there. Now, what I did is several years, I'm talking like 10 plus years after I first saw this series back in 2011-12, um, and several years after it ended in 2014, myself, Azurine Fox, Soda Cat Lou, and Mordred Lover, all from HorrorCon VR, we banded together and went in real life all the way out to Alabama where the series was filmed, and we got to explore all these really cool, sort of abandoned, urban foresty areas, and it was great. It was like I'm pretty sure it was the best weekend of my life. I got to see a lot of things that I don't normally get to see because I'm living in living in Texas in the middle of nowhere. So it was really really great. We got to stay at the hotel that they stayed at in the series. We got to go
Oh
to
wow.
where Rosswood Park, the Slenderman Forest, was. We filmed there, and we got to go see the abandoned hospital that they filmed in. They went to an abandoned hospital and filmed several entries in there, and we got to go see the abandoned hospital too. It hadn't been torn down yet. It was really really cool, and we filmed all of it, and I have recently posted it onto my YouTube channel. It's called Found You Exploring Marble Hornets Locations. So if anybody is interested in that, please go check it out. We put a lot of work into it and we had a lot of fun doing it. So go check that out if you're interested.
It's on your YouTube?
Yes, it is on my YouTube at Midnight Researcher.
Okay.
You want to go grab a link and put it in the chat?
I'm going to grab it right now.
Yeah, thank you. You should watch it too. It's great.
I will.
Oh, mouthful. So this is actually something
It
that
was,
I
it was a mouthful.
yeah. Well,
It was.
I'm just very enthusiastic about it because it's almost I think it's almost like a 2 hour video, and it was an entire weekend when we just weren't filming. So yeah, it was a lot, and I loved doing it because I don't really get to do stuff like that, and that was my first sort of time going to like an abandoned place because it was a real hospital from like the 1970s, I think, or at least it was abandoned in the 1970s, and it was just kind of really left to rot. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, it just really really creepy when going into it. Didn't have anything paranormal happen to us, but just the vibe and the aesthetic of an abandoned place like that just makes for some really really cool videos. And honestly, I might go back there one day and do some more artsy stuff there instead of just exploring it.
Um,
Yes, Philia.
I'm looking for the link, and I just realized I don't know what playlist it's in.
Oh, it's not in a playlist. It's in my recent videos.
explains that.
Let me see if I can put. Oh, wait, no, I can't post them here because Streamlabs won't let me do that. Let me try anyway.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to look it up for you. You know what? Put it in Discord if you can, and I'll pick it up from there.
All right.
So while we're doing that, why don't we say hi to the massive amount of people we have visiting with us today?
There you go. I bounced the link off of the Discord.
Okay.
So while she's doing
Welcome
that,
back, Dex.
yeah. Welcome Dexter. Welcome General. Jellybean18.
Hey, Jellybean.
A right struggle. I thought I saw season.
That's Jellybean's husband. Actually, that's Ray Beeman. I don't know if you've heard that name before or not, but he's a very talented author.
I thought I saw CCG in here, but I guess I was wrong.
You never know. Sometimes she pops in.
That the last topic actually brings me to a question that I wanted to ask you, Pia. Even though I know it's you guys supposed to be interviewing me, I had just one thing. So, you live in
go for it, man.
You do live in PA, right?
I do.
Would you be interested in teaming up, banding together with me in real life and going to explore another abandoned place that came off of another Slenderman series with me?
Sure. Or is that at?
It is called the Fairmont Children's Home, and it was used in the horror web series called Everyman Hybrid, and it is a abandoned nursing home and children's home, and it was partially burnt down and left to rot, and it is pretty abandoned right now, and I would really want to go there. First on my stop was always going to be a Marble Hornets, but second was Everyman Hybrid, so I would want to go there if you're up for like meeting up and doing some ghost hunting or whatever we would do while we were there. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Let me know if you ever want to come out west, because we've got haunted towns and all kinds of haunted mines and everything here
ghost
where
towns.
I'm at.
Mine.
So if you want to come west, I'd go with you.
All right, well, yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind. And something that's just happening next week is I am meeting up with Azurine Fox, aka Miss Creepeth, in real life, and we're going to a convention together. So that'll be really fun. Hopefully,
we'll have fun. Yeah.
I think Spike, Mr. Creepypasta, might be going there, but he's a very busy man, and he's currently in another convention as we're recording this right now. So who knows? We'll wait and see.
You know, it must be nice to reap the rewards of such hard work, because he did earn his spot. You know, he's worked really hard to get there, but can't help but be a little bit jealous. You know, it's like, damn it, he's doing all the fun stuff. Not that this isn't fun. Didn't mean that at all. I love hanging out with you guys and talking.
Yeah. Oh, really, Dexter?
Okay. What, Dex? Mineshaft? Oh my God. Yes. You come explore my mineshaft. I'll take you to the Abbey Maidenhead.
So I seem to remember last time I was on this show, you guys did a question and answer session of terror where you asked a couple very interesting questions that I thought were really cool. So are we going to do something like that while we're here?
Yeah, we probably got a bunch of new questions from last time. Let me pull up the list because I know we've added some. First one, though, while I'm pulling this up, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
Does supercalifragilisticexpialidocious count?
It doesn't really mean anything, but yeah, I guess.
My favorite word other than that. No, I'm just gonna have to go with the cop-out answer that what I said before, and I'm not gonna try and pronounce it
Okay.
again. I'm gonna pretend that I meant to pronounce it correctly on the very first time.
Right.
All right.
Two of my favorite words are pedantic and superfluous.
Oh yeah, superfluous.
Vestigial. I like
Aspersions.
this.
Casting aspersions is a great one.
Yeah. When I interviewed Dr. Creepin, he gave the best answer. His word is petrichor.
What's that?
That is the smell that happens as soon as it starts raining.
Huh. That's interesting. I've never heard of
And
that, but that's really cool.
I live in the desert.
Right.
So when we get rain, there's a very distinct smell because it doesn't happen very often. And it's a little bit of dust, but there's some plants that excrete oils when it rains. And so that's what rain smells like in Arizona. And I thought, oh my God, that is the best word. Petrichor. Yep. That was,
What
I
do you,
think that was one of the best answers we've had.
what is Dexter saying?
Oh, God only knows. Dexter's crazy.
Probably
Oh,
Dexter
oh,
things.
oh, okay. He laughed. LOL, Filia. Because I said I would show him the Abbey Maidenhead.
Oh,
But he doesn't know what that is. So
my
he's still being silly.
my favorite
yeah,
word, potato.
sounds like
Dexter's favorite word is potato.
Thank you, Dexter.
Potato. Potato. That's also one of my favorite foods is potato. Not to be confused
I
with
like to be a
corn.
couch potato.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Okay, I don't know anybody that says potato. That's just weird.
I do.
Do you really? Yes, when it says potato?
It's mostly old ladies at grocery stores who are the same old ladies that hand out Bibles all day at the grocery store, and then they buy potatoes.
Oh, okay. Yes. The
Texas,
women
everybody.
that like make boiled cabbage and boiled potato for stew. Oh, Dexter did spell it right. Puhtahoe. Potato.
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 I feel like that's how rich people ask for potatoes. I'm like,
Potato.
yes, can I have some asparagus and some potatoes? Just like,
Oh, speaking of that, you said asparagus. I saw a recipe last night for stuffed chicken breast with asparagus and potato and a Gruyere cheese. And if that sounds good to you guys, it sounded really good to me.
Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah,
and it had
sound good.
caramelized onions too. And it was just like, oh, I want that so bad. Okay, next question. What would you say are any myths or rumors that revolve around you?
I actually have an answer at this one. People from my streams and from my YouTube say that I'm mysterious, quote unquote, and I don't know why, or I don't know who started that or why they started that, but it's probably just because I'm very reclusive when I get really focused on what I'm working on at the time, and I don't respond to a lot of people a lot of the time. But I don't understand how people can say that I'm mysterious when I'm just really loud and energetic and having fun on my Twitch streams. That just doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know. What do you guys
Those
think?
two would go together. It's funny. Okay, so you
You're
are not
mysterious because of your
mysterious.
name. You're the Midnight Researcher.
That's fair, but I don't know. It doesn't really
Well,
strike.
maybe they think you're mysterious because you don't share a lot about your personal life.
That is true. But some people say that okay, actually, no, not some people. Two people I met at HorrorCon say that I looked and sounded like I was out of a Lovecraft novel, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Oh, I take that as high compliment.
Yeah, shout out to
High,
you.
high, high, high.
Shout out to you, Ender Ghost, if you're watching this from HorrorCon.
Yes, yes, awesome. Okay, PA, I've asked all the questions so far. Your turn.
Oh, I was just gonna ask Seth what because he said about doing more on Twitch. What are you currently streaming on Twitch other than um what was that, Amnesia? Other than Amnesia, because I know you stream that a lot.
Yeah, typically I play at least one Amnesia custom story per stream, but after that it can be anything. Um, Multiplayer, when I get more people in, we usually go to Gary's mod Prop Hunt, just because that's a really fun game a lot of people like to play. It's not really horror related, but there are a few horror maps in Gary's mod Prop Hunt, so I like to play that. But aside from that, I have been wanting to play a lot of horror games that I've seen growing up, and now I can get them, including the Silent Hill series, the Resident Evil series, the Sen RPG Maker games, and just anything that I would come across on Steam or whatever and want to play horror themed, because I'm a big fan of
The new Diablo. The new
especially
Diablo game.
yeah,
Oh.
especially survival horror. I really like, and I'd want other people to experience what the games are for those who don't have them. And yeah, I like to play them, and I feel like it's a challenge sometimes because I tend to be, obvious, but I tend to be kind of a horror nut, so a lot of horror games don't really scare me a lot. So when I get scared on something like recently, I played through Mad Father and Misao, the Sen RPG Maker horror games, and I got scared and jump scared a lot because of those games. It's really nice. I enjoy the experience.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is nice.
So what about Amnesia keeps bringing you back? Because like I said, you play that a lot.
Well, it just kind of goes to show how replayable the game is, not just because of the main campaign, but because that there are so many custom stories for Amnesia, like custom mods that people have made out of the game assets and then made it into their own adventure that you can just put in a folder and then it's good to go. You don't have to install it, spend 2 hours installing it or whatnot. And I think it's just very iconic and knowable game to a lot of people because it was part of how horror gaming as a genre really took off, and it was because of how many people played it online, especially early PewDiePie on YouTube. It was his most popular game that he would play a lot of the time, and that's what got a lot of people to start treating horror gaming as this not just very niche thing that only weird people looked at and did, but it was something that everybody could do. And I still think there's a lot of value in Amnesia, even though a lot of other people have passed it up by this point, just because of how many custom mods there are, and just because the main game is just such a well-made game. Like it's a good game with a lot of good custom content for it that a lot of people have put hard work and effort into.
Nice.
That is a ringing
Have you ever
endorsement.
put right? Uh, so one of my favorite horror games, and because like you said, I don't get scared very often, but this game made my butthole pucker a few times. Have you ever played Dead Space?
No, but I want to. I watched my
Oh
friend
my.
play the shit out of Dead Space 2, and I wanted to play the original for the longest time. I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on a copy of it pretty soon.
I You can get it on Steam. I actually bought it on Steam not too long ago.
Oh,
They're actually next year dropping a like a remastered version of the first game. It's being remade, and I'm excited about it because, like I said, it's my favorite horror game. The It's kind of like Amnesia. Like I really enjoyed Amnesia because of the atmosphere and how creepy it was. And on Dead Space, you're on this ship separated from your crew, and you're literally in outer space. So one mistake could lead to you instantly dying. And there's these aliens that can essentially turn everything that's dead into one of them,
oh,
and they're extremely hard to kill. And just the atmosphere that they set up for that game was amazing.
alien zombies, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Alien
it quickly
zombies. Wow.
became top contender for, and you can't kill it by like kill the aliens by shooting them in the head. You have to dismember them.
Hmm.
yeah, it's a but like the jump scares were on point. There weren't too many of them, but when they did them well. And just like and the absolute feeling of just being alone and in the middle of outer space was just like a horror. It's one of those things you think about it and you're like, yeah, you know what? I would no, I'm good. I'm gonna stay right here on Earth. Thank you.
No, no, that's fine. Good here.
Just gonna.
Awesome.
I've got my little corner, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Exactly. It's kind of like the same thing with anything like ocean horror, like when you're stranded in the middle of the ocean, and it's not as bad as space because at least you can breathe. But if you're stranded in the middle of the ocean, there's that absolute fear of what's underneath me that I can't see.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and in space, it's like, what's behind me? I can't see.
Exactly.
You know?
What's behind me, above me, below me that I can't see?
Exactly. It's all around me. I can't see.
And the environment. I can't go outside the environment or I'll die without proper gear. And even then, I can't go out there for very long.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to think going out into space would be really cool, but the older I get, the less cool it sounds. It's a lot of work, and I don't know.
There's a
Just
lot of things that can just go wrong in space, especially when talking about the human body. We are
I
not.
just
We
don't
are.
have real good luck.
We are not designed to go into space. Like, I mean, we obviously can if we get the right tools, but the question is, should we? And a lot of the time, with a lot of people's mindsets these days, those people probably should not. Fortunately, those people
Right.
can't anyway.
Well,
Or we just, you know, launch them all into space and get rid of them. I mean, what?
we're only the top apex predator because we have thumbs. Because otherwise, we don't hunt very well and we don't protect ourselves very well.
Hmm.
That's it. We've got thumbs. That's what sets us above everybody else, all the other animals.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah.
It's that and back whenever we were hunting, because of how tall we were, we could see further distances, and our eyesight's better than more geared towards long range than most animals. So we could see threats coming for a further distance and nope out of there. So
Well,
we had a small height advantage, and then we had thumbs,
right.
and that was it.
And the height advantage, I think, is almost more towards um, uh, I forget it, the word's gone.
Whoops.
Evolution.
It's like I had
I think maybe
words, and then
one
they
of them was
left.
taller. One was taller and he survived and, put his genetics out there. And then his progeny was a little bit taller and they survived. But yeah, it's not like as babies, anybody we can survive. We're less able to take care of ourselves than just about anything besides like a panda or something like that. And even they are tougher because they have to crawl all the way up their mother's belly into
Yeah.
the pouch, and they're blind and have like no thumbs.
Yeah. Any more wacky
So,
questions you got?
Seth, I don't have wacky one yet, but how did you come up with a midnight researcher for your like online persona?
Well, it's just because back in the day when I was doing different styles of content for another person, is I would be researching a lot of like game lores, and a lot of the time I would lose track of what the time was, and literally I would be looking up lore about like SCPs, like amnesia monsters and creatures and stuff like that I would make lore videos on just at midnight. So research at midnight, midnight researcher, and just kind of evolved from there. I needed a name that wasn't just my name, and so yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool. So, if you could do anything in the world, anything,
Mm-hmm.
travel, write, research, and everything was taken care of, you didn't have to worry about anything else but doing exactly what you wanted, what would you be doing?
That's a loaded question, isn't it?
It
uh,
is.
well, for starters, is there a limit on what I can do, or does it only have to be one thing? Or
You know, within reason.
okay.
One thing, one or two things, you know.
Well, I would get my best friend Bliss out of South Africa and move them to America, like they have wanted for like a while. If like there was no limitations to this, and then I don't know, I would just get myself, I don't know, better equipment to do what I am currently doing, because I'm I wouldn't say I'm perfectly happy with what's going on in my life, but I am actually wanting to improve it and not have anything do it for me. Like it would really just be, if I could do whatever I wanted, I would do things for my friends instead of me, because its effort is better used on other people, not for me to be selfish.
Wow. Oh my God.
So
Nobel Peace Prize.
you wouldn't you wouldn't move to New Zealand and live in the Shire? Because that's what I would do.
Nah.
You thought about it for a second. You're like, that is a tempting offer.
Nah.
Derringer isn't in the chat, is he?
No, because we haven't been spammed every 5 seconds.
Right. He asked some good questions. Okay. A Derringer question.
Derringer is chaos incarnate, and I love him.
God, a Derringer question. All right.
Um, you're at.
Why is cat?
Why is
That is a Derringer question. Why is cat?
What?
What is cat? That is, but that wasn't the question.
Meow. That's why.
Because dog.
I don't know. That was the first thing that popped in my head for Derringer, and I'm pretty sure he's asked that question before, which is the funny thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You are at a taco bar, and it has every topping for tacos you could ever imagine.
Okay.
And some that you couldn't imagine that were there are questionable.
Okay.
What do you put on your tacos?
I'd leave because I don't like tacos. I'm just kidding. No. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I went with the tacos because I thought maybe the hot dogs would be bad.
I'm kind of boring, but here's a counter answer is that I would go to the other bar that has the more customizable things, because I don't normally eat tacos with the hard shells, and I get a soft shell taco instead with just normal taco meat and the spicy sauce or whatever it's called, taco sauce. Because I'm just a really, maybe with cheese if I'm feeling it. I'm just kind of a boring person like that. So
Do you do soft corn or soft flour tortillas?
either or.
Okay.
Now, I have a question for Filia. Is there a chocolate fountain there that I can make chocos at?
Oh boy.
Chocolate
Oh
tacos.
wow, that would be. I know. You're talking about chocolate tacos. Ah, wow, yeah. Yeah,
You know, I always
yeah. There is, as a matter of fact.
I always like seeing...
There's a soft serve machine and waffle shells that you can turn into taco shapes. Everything.
I always see and hear things about like chocolate fountains, and they seem like things that are out of fiction, or like for the obviously they are for the stupidly rich, but it's just like, why would there be a chocolate fountain? What is, like, obviously I get why it's so you can just take your thing and then just stick it in there and then you have a chocolate topping on there, but like there's this technology could be put towards so much more practical things, and that you want a chocolate fountain. I mean, it's cool, but
Right, it could be a blood fountain.
Listen, where else can you just walk up, get a cup, fill it full of chocolate, and just drink it?
It's called lucid dreaming. You should try it sometime.
I've been to a place that had a chocolate fountain, and that was exactly the first thing I did. And I was like,
Hmm.
you know, this was just as glorious as I envisioned it to be.
What, did it cost $100 to get inside that place?
Now, there is a
Actually,
chain
I don't,
of
I don't want
buffets
to know how much
that
it
have
costs.
Okay. What's up,
Good,
Filia?
Philly.
the Golden Corral is a chain of buffets.
Hmm.
I don't know how far they spread, but I know they're like all over. There's a lot of them. One of their big things is they have a chocolate fountain in every restaurant, and it's a buffet.
Wow.
So they have
What?
they have marshmallows and strawberries and and all of these long skewers, and you literally just stick it in there
Well,
and then put it on your plate. But I've discovered that the chocolate is not that good. I mean, it's okay chocolate, but it's not good chocolate.
I mean, I could just imagine chocolate that keeps repeatedly running through a fountain system would eventually not really be all that great anyway. So,
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
I mean, you mentioned
it's like Hershey's syrup, kind of.
you mentioned a blood fountain, and I'm wondering how that would.
Yes.
I'm wondering how that would be
The
a
only
thing.
thing I would be concerned with is the clotting factor. How would you stop the clotting?
Just that's actually a good point. We could just put some food coloring into water and say that it's blood and just call it a day.
Right. But yeah, that sounds like a fun thing, a blood fountain. Okay. As we all wander off on thoughts of our own.
Right.
Okay, Dex, he hasn't said anything since potato. Potato. Jellybean hasn't either.
Well, people are still here, so they're listening to our ramblings about fountains.
I don't know if they are or not. It says 3 watching the stream. And all 3 of us are in here. Okay, there he is. Anticoagulants.
I've got 5 on the control panel here, so
all right.
Anticoagulants. Well, we are also on a delay.
As long as it doesn't change the taste of it too much. Like warfarin.
Vampires heaven. Any other questions?
There's lots of questions. PA, what are you doing?
What is PA doing?
I don't know. He didn't answer.
His mic is muted.
Oh, then he had to step away. All right, me and you. Okay. You want questions? Describe your sex life with a movie title.
That's an interesting one. Pitch Black. What other things can I describe that are like nothingness? No. I don't know.
The Void.
The Void. That's one.
Black Hole. Okay, I get that.
Okay, one of them isn't mine, but it's funny. It's the Hunger Games.
It's funny. My go-to is always 7 years into bed. Yeah. So, along the same lines, a friend of mine, many years ago, he and his wife were trying to get pregnant, and they were just really having a hard time of it. And he was talking about how one day, she'd taken her temperature and stuff, and it was time to, and she was just crying and crying and crying because she was so upset about this. And he says, I'm never going to be able to get off if you don't stop crying. And from that, we turned it into most inappropriate things to say during sex.
Jesus. I'm never gonna.
You asked for it.
Jeez.
So things like
Oh, there you are,
things like
Katie.
what do they say in Mortal Kombat at the end,
Fatality.
or finish him or
Finish him.
something?
Fatality. Flawless victory. I got one for Seth for shits and giggles. Seth, your best friend calls you in the middle of the night and says, I need you to hide a body. What do you say? And if yes, what do you bring?"
In a good way or a bad way?
Your best friend calls you in the middle of the night and says, "I need you to help me hide a body."
No, that's what I would say.
How? Oh, I see. Okay.
In a good way or a bad way?
A good body or a bad body?
Well, in this case, it'd probably be murder. So it would probably be the bad way.
Again, in a good way or a bad way?
Is this a revenge killing or a crime of passion?
Listen, if it's
They cut me off.
if
They
it's
cut me off in traffic, and he cut me off in traffic, and I murdered them.
if it's justifiable homicide, I will absolutely help hide a body.
But if it's justifiable, then it shouldn't matter if the body's found. That's my thing. Justifiable, then we should tell them there's a body, or we look guilty.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to.
What are you talking about, Filia? There is no body.
Oh,
There never was a body. This person never existed. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right. What was I thinking? Silly me. The voice was getting loud again. I apologize.
Hi, Cece.
Hey,
Hey,
CCG.
CC.
So, I know he was here earlier, so I want to ask the question in case he's still here. You are possessed by two ghosts. One is incredibly loud 24 hours a day, but cleans your house. The other ghost is the ghost of a murderer, but he has the heart of gold. Uh, which ghost do you get? Which ghost do you get rid of, and why?
Well, clearly the murderer, because the murderer can't have a heart of gold.
I'd have to get rid of the loud ghost because I don't like loud noises.
I don't either. I don't care if he cleans my house.
You guys would
I
not.
want to be. I don't want it to be loud.
You guys would cohabitate with the murderer.
No, but as long he's dead and not trying to murder me, so I got no beef with him.
Oh, he's not trying to kill me. Okay, then yeah, I changed my answer. I thought okay. Then yes, I would change my answer to getting rid of the loud ghost.
Was that one of CCG's questions?
No, that one was one of Ray Beeman's questions.
Oh, the multi-part is yeah. Okay, I think we asked you these last time you were here.
I ask him again. I might have different answers this time. It's been like over a year.
Yeah. So, you were really, really bad boy, and we had to throw you in the stocks. And you've been found guilty and sentenced to death. What would you like to eat?
Oh, yeah.
How would you like to die?
This is where I said I refuse to answer your question. I'm going to break out and kill all of you fuckers instead.
Yeah,
answer hasn't changed, and I would be even more improved in my technique this time. But if I had to choose, I would actually my last meal would not be what I said last. I don't know what it was last time. I would have a bowl of pistachios because I would want something iconic to be my last meal. And pistachios, I don't think anybody's ever done that yet. I could be wrong.
So how would you like to be dispatched?
Oh, firing squad, no question.
That was an answer we got the other day too. Firing squad.
I'd still have to go iconic, and I'd have them bring back the guillotine.
Me too. And face down. I don't want to be looking up at that thing either.
Did you know Did you know that back in the day, scientists conducted experiments on criminals when they beheaded people? They would quickly go over and discern if the head could still react to stimuli, and they would have people who have been beheaded blink if they could still see after being beheaded, and sometimes they would, So there you go. You're still conscious for
Yeah.
about 15 seconds after you're beheaded. So that's why I would choose firing squad instead.
That's
Just
fine.
bullet to brain.
Well, but
With that last
Okay.
15 seconds, I will mouth the words "fuck you."
okay. I want to point out one thing
Okay.
with the firing squad. Even if you get shot in the heart and it stops immediately,
You're to
your
blame.
brain can still function for up to like 6 minutes.
Yeah, but that's why you make sure that you get hit in the head, not in the heart.
Yeah. Also, Filia, all
But
I gotta
that's
say
why the
is, shot in the
guillotine.
heart, and you're to
You're
blame.
Baby, you give love. That name. Yeah,
Don't put
okay.
a Bon Jovi song on my head. You all will regret it.
Dexter says mine was landmine to the chin. Ho.
Well,
Explosive.
I think that would take care of it very.
Very cleanly. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, that would be very decisive. Boom, you're dead. Just
You know, after you die, you shit yourself. So that would give a new term. That would give a whole new meaning to the term explosive diarrhea.
Oh my god.
Did you know that when you're being prepared for burial, they have plugs that they put in you?
Yes, I actually did know that. And sometimes some cemeteries and funeral homes still have the ancient bell system where if people were buried accidentally while they were still alive, they could ring the bell and have people dig them up.
Yeah.
Funeral homes. The original originators of butt plugs.
Did you have to say it like that?
I was trying really hard not to go that direction.
Did you have to
I
say
did,
it like...
Seth. You know me.
Are we allowed to say
Know
that?
me?
Are we?
But yes, this is YouTube and not Twitch,
Just
so
happened.
yes, we can say that.
Okay, we can say butt plugs. All right.
It just happened, so
By how they have evolved. Well, they used them also in ancient Egypt. Also used them back then. So they aren't a new device. They just change to get fancy over the years. Now they have like little horsey tails that come off of them, and you can get like little flashing gemstones and chrome plated.
Would you know this from experience?
A friend used to work at that kind of store,
Ah.
and I would go in and hang out and shock my ever-loving vanilla mind. Yeah, I spent a lot of time giggling in that store. I'm sorry. I went back there. I did. I went back there in my mind, and I started looking at shit again.
I can imagine.
You know, I was watching something on TV and someone said duty, and I laughed for some weird ass reason. I'm like, God damn it, I haven't matured past middle school.
We're all still children. Like, I swear.
Right?
All of
Yeah.
us.
We all are.
We never
Absolutely.
grew up.
We still laugh at the word duty. See?
Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Something else that we probably still do that we did as children: poke dead things with sticks.
No, I actually don't do that. I don't.
You don't do that? Oh.
I don't want to get diseases. That's why. But I
That's
absolutely.
why you poke it with a stick.
Oh,
You're not poking it with your finger.
The disease can still travel up the stick onto your very vulnerable body. So.
I haven't thought about poking anything with a stick since the last time. I was out in the woods with my one cousin, and we were walking, and he saw this fucking dead animal, and it was bloated, and he's like, "I'm gonna poke it with a stick," and I was like, "That's a really bad idea, my friend." He's like, "I'm gonna poke it with a stick." Thing exploded all over him.
Bloody pinata.
And I ran away and locked the door and opened up the window and started laughing at him, and I'm just like, "Go wash with the hose." We were at my grandfather's.
I never really
Go ahead.
poked things with sticks, but Did you guys, when you were kids, did you ever make a habit of not destroying anthills the correct way, but instead just beating them to shit?
Uh, we used
Yes.
we used to pour gasoline on them
Poured
and light them on
gasoline on them
fire.
and light the. Oh my goodness
Yeah,
gracious!
trust me. If I would have had some kind of little um, kiln or something and melted down aluminum cans, I would have poured aluminum on them.
Oh my god! But
I,
yeah,
um,
I used to just.
Remember,
I,
I
I'm
used,
Gen X. We could do whatever we wanted.
oh,
Parents didn't care.
and I'm basically what I would do is I would take my father had these boots that he would lend me when we went on like hikes and stuff, and these things were like impenetrable unless they went like through the soles, at least to ants and stuff. So I would just spend half my time hiking there, just beating the anthills to shit and pouring water into them and just kicking them until they were all like really really flat. And I don't know why I did it because it was in hindsight it was really stupid and kind of disrespectful of wildlife. But you know they're ants and there's like a billion of them out there. So
Right?
I once I decided to get clever and I ran into the house, got a lighter and fucking hairspray, and made a makeshift flamethrower and used a flamethrower on the anthill because
you made a makeshift
why not?
flamethrower.
Had a hairspray and a lighter. Yep.
Oh
I've
yeah,
done that.
that's a classic method.
I've done
Yeah.
it, but
Jeez.
it wasn't for ants.
But
It was for black widow spiders. It only come out in the dark.
Oh.
but but also one day my cousin was being a real prick to me, and I knew there was an anthill where we were walking. So right as we got beside it, I pushed him down onto the anthill and walked away.
You're
He did
evil.
not have a fun time afterwards.
That's rotten. That is rotten.
Jeez.
Damn, dude. You still friends with this cousin?
Yeah, we still talk.
I guess that's the guy relationship.
Yeah, we stopped we stopped fighting each other after I almost killed him twice.
Oh, this I gotta hear.
So we were wrestling around in my grandfather's yard one day, and when I say wrestling, I mean like WWE, like we were doing suplexes and shit to each other, and I picked him up and I walked him over to a very thick bed of grass. So I'm like, this is a soft landing, he won't hurt nearly as much. I was trying to be nice, right? Grown into that thick bed of grass was a tree stump that my grandfather cut down years ago.
Oh no.
And the back of his head bounced off that tree stump.
You lucky it was his head, not his spine.
No,
Oh my
like
goodness.
it was very close to where his spine and skull connected, and he did not move. I thought I killed him, and I ran at him like I killed him, and we got back, and he was setting up, rubbing the back of his head, and I'm just like, never mind, false alarm. We should still probably take him to the hospital, though he probably has concussion. And then the very last time we ever wrestled with that is we were in my pool in my yard, and I wrapped my legs around where his lungs were, and I put him in a chokehold, and I drug him under the water. And I wasn't thinking about the fact that we were underwater. I was just trying to make him tap out.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden I was like, I can't breathe. And I'm like, he probably can't breathe either. So I let him go. I bring him up and I just pull him over to the side of the pool, smack him on the back as he's coughing up water. I'm like, we should probably not do this anymore. One of us is definitely going to die, and it's probably going to be you.
You know, well, okay.
Wow.
You just had to be a prick in that last remark, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why? In 2 months span, I almost killed him twice. So the odds were not in his favor of survival.
You know what I've been seeing lately? A lot of people have been pointing lately to all these things being said about a TikTok trend where people intentionally like suffocate themselves to like hallucinate. But the thing is that a lot of people get that wrong because that was a thing way before all this TikTok shit even started. I remember doing that with me and my friends just out like before before YouTube was even really all that big, and definitely way, way before TikTok or whatever even came before TikTok. So I
I
don't
remember
understand
doing
why.
that before the internet.
I don't see why anybody is treating this whole knock yourself unconscious to hallucinate thing as being like this new dangerous TikTok trend when it's been around for probably even longer than the internet has even been around for, because
Oh, it definitely has.
that's how kids
Yeah,
just entertain themselves. It's dangerous as shit,
We
and
used.
there's
you
there
probably
was
shouldn't have
this
done it, but
Oh no, it's
there
really
was
bad
this
for
thing
you.
going around whenever I was a kid where you would cross your arms and you'd have someone like push you against the wall real hard, and you'd like pass out from not like all the oxygen being dispelled from your body in immediate like at once, and then you'd wake up like few minutes later, and no, that actually resulted in several deaths, and I'm just like, so yeah, it's definitely not new.
We used to do it where you'd bend over at the waist and you'd start to make yourself hyperventilate, and then you'd stand up really fast and you'd push your palms of your hands against your throat and like push backwards against the wall and literally cut off the oxygen, and then you'd fall down and
have either of you
you know.
had either of you hallucinated while doing? Have either of you actually done this yourselves?
I did it before. I don't
I will.
remember hallucinating. I remember it kind of made you feel like you were high or something. Of course, that was hypoxia,
Yeah,
but
it was
we
pretty
didn't
much
know then.
the same thing for me. It was like you would just like hyperventilate, and then you while you were hyperventilating, you'd stop, hold your breath tightly as you could, and then somebody would give you a huge bear hug, and then you would basically either fall or somebody would catch you or whatever, and you would pass out
Yeah.
and like hallucinate for about 2.5 minutes or so, and then you just wake up. I did it only one time, and I'm never going to do it again because it was actually pretty terrifying. So I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I sort of
when we
remember.
were in school, and
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Okay, well, I sort of
Are you
remember
good?
what I dreamed or hallucinated during that, but yeah, it was oxygen deprivation, and so it was in the what was it? It was in like this field that we would just like dick around in before a house got built onto there. In my dream, I was still at the field, but I got the distinct impression that the sky was not the sky anymore. The sky was actually an ocean, and people had the ability to jump into the ocean and swim upwards. People could jump super high, jump into the ocean, and come back down and didn't get hurt. And it was really weird, but I've written that down, and I'm going to use that as the inspiration to a story one of these days. But yeah,
Huh,
lack of oxygen makes your
nice.
brain do some weird shit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. In school, whenever someone's like, "Hey, you want to try this?" and I was like, "Try what?" First of all, and then they showed me, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not a fucking moron."
Dexter, the Nevermore Collective,
My
I assume, does not advocate for illegal drug usage.
Oh no, no, we don't
Yes, we
advocate
do
anything.
not advocate for children to do mushrooms, LSD, acid, or PCP. Um, especially PCP. And I say especially PCP because that drug is really easy to overdose on, and it will cook you from the inside out. I would not wish
Angel dust.
that
Yeah.
death on my worst enemies, but I probably would.
Angel dust is really bad. Really bad. I didn't realize it was still around. I thought it had pretty much fallen out of favor.
Drugs
And
are
if anybody
bad.
wants to know where I got my drug knowledge from, I went to school to become a cop, and that is one of the things they teach you.
Did either of you ever have the DARE program when you were in school?
Yes.
My daughter did.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
My daughter did.
Ah, yeah, I learned a lot about drugs because of that, but a lot of the time, and a lot of people confirmed this too, is that DARE was half uh, anti-drug usage behavior and just half the police uh, needing to do something with the school to upkeep their relations, and it was a lot of fear mongering, especially at least at the schools that I went to. It was a lot of fear mongering. They would spend a lot of time not talking about drugs and just talking about how you kids better not do any crimes or else we'll be on you quicker than something. I don't know. It was. I mean, it's true. You shouldn't do crimes, but still, they could have gone about it in a less threatening way, especially to a bunch of impressionable teenagers who might not have that great of an opinion on police
You
officers.
faster, and then Ginger loses its soul.
Um, my daughter came home from school with the DARE program and said, because my parents are ex-hippies, they smoked pot way before it was legal and everything. And she said that the cops at the DARE program are asking all the kids, if anybody in their family does any of these, do they smoke pot? Do they do this? Do they do that? Have you ever seen these things in your house? Like a bong that looks like a vase, but it's got water in it, and all kinds of stuff. They were trying to get the kids to snitch on their parents.
Yeah. Hi,
Jesus.
Hi, Josie Kitty. What's up?
Sounds about right. Hey, bestie, what's up?
Hi, Josie. So yeah, that was pretty. I kind of lost a lot of respect for the DARE program at that point. It's like, so, you're just teaching the kids to be snitches.
I mean, I don't know what the point of that even is, though. Like, obviously, if a police officer is asking you, hey, are you secretly breaking the law? I don't think anybody's actually going to fess up to it. And I know this because my school has / had a huge weed problem, and the police could never catch who was doing it. And I know because I was offered weed several times, but I never did it because I was boring. But nobody would ever fess up, and our school kept its reputation as one of the worst schools in at least this part of Texas for weed, especially just everybody smoked pot there, and it wasn't even any other drugs. No, there weren't any like pill abusers or morphine or opioids or I don't know, heroin. It was just weed. I don't know why we had such a big weed problem, but DARE wasn't really helpful in that aspect. So
I'd rather have the school that had the weed problem than the school that had the meth problem.
oh god, meth. Yeah, and I will say this on record. Yes, I never did drugs because I was really boring, and I was one of the designated nerds in the designated nerd school group. So there you go.
There's something to be said about nerds. I grew up, I used to always chase the bad boys, the pot smokers and stuff like that. And you know what happens when they get to their 20s?
Hmm.
They don't have a job. They don't make any money. They live with they live with their same friends that they've been friends with since they were 8 years old, and they're all losers. The nerds, they have money. The nerds did something with their lives. So being a nerd gives you a much better chance at life.
I mean, I obviously won't say her name, but it's the classic textbook tale of being one of the popular girls in school. Huge fall from grace. Tried to become a model, didn't. Tried to join the military, got discharged within the first year of her being in the military, and now she works as a fast food attendant and isn't really doing that well. But it just goes to show you that your perception of how you treat people and how you're seen in school doesn't really fucking matter once you get out into the real world. In the real world, you just need to find a job, and then all you have to deal with is office space drama or just workplace drama, and that's way tamer compared to the shit you have to go through in school, at least among the kids. So yes, I'm glad to see that everybody here was basically a nerd, because I'm glad I'm not one. I'm glad that I'm not what one of the popular kids turned out to be, as I am now. So
I wasn't a nerd. I wasn't a popular kid. I was one of the disposable kids.
the disposable.
There's that group of kids that nobody knows anything about. Faces change in the group and nobody really even notices. Like, hey, didn't there used to be a kid with glasses? Whatever happened to him? Oh, he moved like 4 months ago. Oh, I didn't notice. I was invisible. invisible, disposable. But that's okay.
That's okay. We all know each other now, and we are
Right,
definitely
right,
not. We are definitely not unknowable and disposable now.
right. I have tens of people listening to me every week. Not as many people that would listen to me if I worked at a drive-through restaurant, though.
Yeah, but what kind of conversation do you get out of that? You know.
Well, this is true. This is true. Would you like fries with that? Can I offer you an apple pie? I'm sorry, our McFlurry machine is down.
When isn't it?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So, any more actual
Yes.
questions?
Yes. Okay. If you had to have a choice, if you had to have a choice, you have a choice. You can either lose a leg or grow a tail.
Ooh.
What are you going to do?
Honestly, I could probably just take the grow a tail thing, but only because if I don't like it. Wait, what? Wait, actually, what kind of tail is it? Is it like a weird flesh?
There's the rub. You don't know what kind of tail you're going to get. You could get a crocodilian tail. You could get a simian tail. You could get a pup, a dog tail. You don't know.
I'm like in my mind, what I instantly pictured was like some weird human flesh tail, and I'm just like, oh.
Oh.
But
Yeah, no, okay.
the upside
gross.
to that is I could just, if I had to lose a leg or grow a tail, it doesn't say what happens after. I could either get a replacement leg or I could just get the tail removed. So I'm gonna go with tail.
Okay. Of course, it doesn't say what's going to happen after. We don't know these things.
But you make these questions.
No, actually, not a lot of them. Almost all of our questions have come from the chat and people asking them.
Oh, you just,
we steal the questions.
And you just save them and.
Yeah, we've got a list. I'm not kidding.
Oh man.
We've got a list, and we just add to the bottom of the list. It's set up in 3 sections. We've got questions if you're a writer, questions if you're a narrator, and then what we call the silly questions.
I love the silly questions. Hit me with another one of those.
What is a severe fear or phobia that you have?
I really don't like scorpions, specifically. I had such an intense fear of scorpions, especially like 10, 15 years ago, that I would write stories. Because, okay, we had a writing class in, like, I think elementary or middle school, and during October, for some reason, one of the teachers came up with this method of, hey, if you write about something, you'll become less scared of it. And that was bullshit, because all those stories that I wrote,
Absolutely.
all those stories that I wrote about scorpions when I was, like, little, I would go back and read them year after year, and I would just get more scared of them because of the shit that I had the scorpions do to, like, these poor people in these horror stories that I wrote. So, I don't know who came up with the fact that if you write about something, you'll fear it less. That was nonsense.
Yep. He's a sadistic asshole. That's it, just sadistic. So scorpions specifically, so not spiders.
Not spiders. Spiders I can handle. And also cockroaches, and just, I don't know, there's something...
Sorry, guys, I had an emergency I had to take care of.
Okay, that's
okay.
fine.
So
it's like they can get really big, and they're not quite the same as like a spider or even just a cockroach or just a bug. They're very alien compared to a lot of the other things that you get to see day to day.
They are.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about scorpions.
And like, she asked me what is my phobia, and I don't know what the phobia is for scorpions.
I don't know, but it's I actually know someone else that's like petrified of scorpions, and I'm like, then why do you live in Arizona? You know?
I remember
I guess that
my grandma lives in Florida, and I was walking bare feet through sand, and she was like, be careful. Scorpions are stinging and they're poisonous out this way. I'm like, nah, I'm good, whatever.
Scorpions are arachnids according to Google, so I'm not scared of spiders, but I have a specific arachnophobia towards scorpions. And yeah, there you go.
The sub, it's a subspecies, and you have a subphobia.
Lucky me.
Yep.
What about
Okay,
you?
go back. That's PA. We're going back to your grandmother here, and scorpions in Florida in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
She's seen them, and I've seen them.
No, I've seen them too when I visited my cousins in Florida. They were we didn't call them scorpions though. We just called them stickers because they would very often they wouldn't even attack. They would just stick to your clothes and your shoes and just be really really annoying. And yeah, they definitely exist. But let me throw the question back at you guys. What is one of your phobias and fears? So I'm not just the one tortured here.
I'm claustrophobic. When I was younger, I got to watch Saturday morning
Can't see the
cartoons, and
bottom
my
of.
mom and dad were sleeping, and I didn't want to wake anyone up, so I just went downstairs, turned the TV on, started watching TV. The remote fell behind the couch, and I crawled back there to get it, and I got stuck back there for like 3 or 4 hours until people actually came downstairs and and could help me out. Yeah, I don't like tight spaces. To the point
had that
where
happen to me.
wearing a seatbelt, with a jacket starts making me anxious.
Ooh.
I can see that. It gets on me.
Or just in generally being surrounded by traffic. Like if I'm beside 2 cars, also just starts to kick in.
What about you, Filia?
Water that I can't see the bottom of, like
The deep
lakes,
ocean.
rivers, the ocean. Yeah. Because I know for a fact there are things in that water that are big enough to eat me and not even blink an eye.
Thalassophobia, I believe is what that one's called.
Do you not have a fear of just water in general? Just water that you can't see the bottom of?
Well, I mean, okay. I can go swimming in a swimming pool, especially if it's a pool that I'm familiar with, like Christine Baker's pool. I can get in her pool, no problem. At night, it's very difficult for me to be in the water because she doesn't have a light in her pool. So I guess it's more like dark water. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Josie says biggest phobias are spiders, open water, drowning in a vehicle, and not being able to breathe. Yeah. I thought that I had I thought that I had a fear of heights up until recently, because I remember the first time that I was on a plane and I could remember it was when I was like 8 years old and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified of it. I couldn't even get into my seat. I was I don't think there's any video or pictures of it, but I remember and I was told that I would not even get into my seat, and I was lying on the in the aisle, and people had to keep stepping over me because I wouldn't get up. I was petrified of how high up we were. But then just a couple months ago, I flew to my cousin's wedding, and I was fine on the plane. Got a little nauseous, but that was expected, and I guess I don't have a fear of heights. I would have answered fear of heights if you'd asked me this a couple months ago, but no.
Falling is one of mine too. Like, because I remember when I was a kid, my mom and dad took me on this roller coaster at this carnival, and it wasn't exactly the safest roller coaster of all time, and I was extremely skinny back then, so my ass was coming up out of my seat, and I felt like I was gonna fall over the railing that was there to protect me. So even in video games, if I jump from a high height, like in Assassin's Creed, I get this like this feeling in the pit of my stomach, like this isn't good, this isn't good, this is good, and then I land like, okay, that's stupid, but yeah. But I can ride roller coasters now because my sister forced me to get on enough of them.
I have something I want to say to
Still
Josie.
don't like them.
Josie's talking about she doesn't like bridges. when I was a little kid in the early 70s, um, Lake Mead in Nevada did not. It had a suspension bridge, but you could also drive across the top of the dam. And at the time, the suspension bridge was, no, it wasn't a suspension. It was the arced bridge. It didn't have the steel cables. It was the other kind. Anyway, it was really high up above Glen Canyon Dam, above the Colorado River, just like crazy high up. And my stepdad, my first stepdad, decided that we, as a family, me and my brother, my mom and him, were going to walk out onto that bridge to the center.
Oh.
And I'm like 6 at the time, 7 years old. And I'm scared. I'm holding on to my mom, like the back of her shirt, and I've got my face buried, and we get out there. And this bridge is swaying, like,
Oh no.
side to side, so far. From the center, it looked like it was gonna detach from the edges, from the wind, and big semi trucks, like a 1 lane each direction, big semi trucks rumbling across this bridge. So I understand about those being scary, but like that wasn't bad enough. The same day that ass wipe, we went back and we got out onto the dam, and he had me lay on the abutment of the, not the abutment, but like the side of the dam, so I could look over the edge into the water. But it was wider than I was tall, so he kept telling me to go farther out, and all he was doing was holding on to my ankles. And that's not a secure feeling.
No, it's not.
So in one day, I had to face 2 of those things. Fucker. Ugh, what an asshole. So I understand, Josie. I get that. Bridges, yeah, no. Heights, I'm okay with heights now because I have control of it. I wasn't okay with heights when he had control of it.
Yeah.
If that makes any kind of sense, I can do it, but you can't make me do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I had a lot of stories about him. He was not a nice person.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw in the chat, but when my sister was younger, my dad stopped on a bridge and threatened to throw my sister over because she was being annoying, and she believed him. Until this day, she's still horrified of bridges.
Wow.
What an asshole.
I mean,
well, but I mean, no, we do things. If you're not a parent, you don't quite get it. We do things to our children that we don't realize at the time can be as damaging as it is.
Well, I'm not a parent, so yes, I don't know.
He was joking, like he was definitely joking, but my sister thought he was dead serious. Apparently, she's just no. Like I should have, by all rights, I should have a fear of water, any water. I should just have a fear of drowning. Because when I was 5 years old, my sister threw me in my pool into a 5-foot pool and said, "Swim or die."
Jeez.
And I swam.
Wow. What did you
I love water and don't have a fear of it.
What did you like not know how to swim at the time, or?
Nope. I had never been in a pool before at that time, and she's like, "Swim or die." But I remember seeing people swim on TV, and I started moving my arms and feet like they did on TV, and I just started swimming.
Oh, wow!
And I like a little doggy paddle.
No, like straight on, rotating my arms in a circle and kicking my legs. I just straight up started swimming.
Actually, like
my sister's like,
yeah,
athletic, yeah.
And she's like, and her jaw just drops like she didn't think that was gonna happen.
She thought she was going to have to come in there and save you.
Right.
Probably.
Well, you said swim or die, so I chose the swim option because the die option sucks.
Right?
See,
I
even back
chose the
then,
swim
your
option because
survival
dying was
instincts.
at that point. I think it was more my fuck you instincts. I just wanted to have that moment where like she's like swim or die, and then I just started swimming and just smiled at her like, yeah, fuck you,
It seems like you do a
because I
lot.
was a very sarcastic child.
You do a lot of things out of spite. I've realized how
He
I've come to know
does.
you.
He
Yes.
does. But it makes for very entertaining stories.
Would I say I live off spite and broken dreams? What do you guys think? I'm joking?
at first, yes, but now,
Hey,
no.
baby. I know, Maka. Don't eat that. I'm sorry. Don't, Maka. Maka, honey. Sorry, my dog just came in.
Oh no, dog fit. Oh no.
Oh yeah. So
She's
earlier,
not mighty
whenever
anymore.
Filia, you asked me where I went. Um, one of the cats came into my office and decided to just pee on my carpet.
Oh.
Ooh, bad kitty.
And it and then it ran away. And I hollered up to my girlfriend. I'm like, um, because she was asking me what I wanted for dinner, and I was like, whatever you're making's fine. Also, that cat's lucky he doesn't have a broken neck. And she's like, why? And I'm like, peed in my office. If I would have gotten my hands on that cat, we'd have probably been one less cat in this house.
Sounds like
I
it's a
mean,
very
don't kill animals.
territorial.
It's not right.
Yeah, that's a territory thing.
It's about to get you're gonna get my foot up your ass kind of thing too.
Jeez.
Okay. So last topic, subject topic. The paranormal.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that? Believe in it? Is it real?
I think some of it. Okay. My attitude towards this is my attitude towards a lot of these sort of supernatural paranormal things is that, you know, throughout the course of human history, there have always been people who have pretended to experience paranormal things, who make fake stories and spread those around. But given the sheer amount of claims of paranormal things happening and sightings and whatever, I personally believe that they cannot all be fake. And once or twice I have experienced something that I could consider paranormal, but it was really kind of inconclusive, so I just left it. I haven't really investigated. I have never experienced a genuine, well, maybe. I might have experienced a genuine ghost encounter, but it was really inconclusive, and I don't really know what to make of it. I haven't really experienced anything solid. Like, that hospital that we went to in the Marble Hornets video was supposed to be one of the most haunted places in Alabama, and nothing really paranormal happened while we were there. So, I don't know. I would could be could be cool if a lot of these paranormal things are real. Most of them probably aren't, but I believe that some of them could be. You know, some of them could be. It'd be cool. And that might be a boring answer, but that's really just how I feel about it. And yeah, I believe in ideas, and I believe that not everybody out there can be a liar.
Right. Cool.
So, Seth, I don't know if I ever told you this story or not, but I was on voice chat. It was me, Philia, me, and a bunch of other people. This was when I was living at my old place.
Yeah.
That was absolutely haunted.
It was.
And I was wearing my As the Raven Dreams hoodie, and I was talking, and the next
We're
thing
on
you know,
video.
you just like they I was on video. They watched as my hoodie, the hood to my hoodie, went straight, and I was yanked backwards.
Literally looked like someone pulled it up so it was hanging straight out vertical and then pulled him backwards.
Hmm.
It was the freakiest damn thing.
That's really freaky. I don't know what to make of
And
that.
then the other story I have, it's a bit of a longer one. Is we were touring the Gettysburg battlefield, and there was a sign that says "Do not enter," And I asked our tour guide, like, is that really off limits or what's going on? And she's like, oh, well, we just kind of closed it off to the public because we've had some incidences. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, there's a ghost, and we're pretty sure it's a Confederate spirit that sort of claimed that part of the battlefield for itself, and it gets violent if anybody crosses it. And I'm like, well,
Jeez.
can I go there? And she's like, if you want. And I was like, absolutely. So I crossed the do not enter. And the second I did it, you ever get that feeling like you just shouldn't be somewhere, and it's like in your gut, but
You get it.
you don't know why.
It's like a cold spot, or you get a chill.
Yeah.
The hair on
So I
your
crossed in
back
there, and I'm
starts
like,
to stand up.
yeah, or it's like it's just that little voice inside your head. It's like, danger's ahead.
I'm
You
in
should listen to me.
danger.
I'm your lizard brain. I know these things. And I'm like, ah, screw you, brain. We're gonna keep going. So I keep walking, and I get a little bit in, and I hear the lady go, just don't cross the fallen tree, whatever you do. And I'm like, cross the fucking tree. If I want to cross the fucking tree. Well, I get to this tree, and I put my foot on it. And at that point, my body has had enough, and it locks itself up. It says, you can go backwards, but you cannot go forward. Next thing you know, I hear a horse neigh, and I hear his packing sound, and a click. And then next thing you know, I see a flash of light and a loud bang, and I feel something whiz by my face.
Holy
Fucking
shit.
ghost shot at me with like an old school, like, Civil War era, like musket. Needless to say, I turned around and I noped out of there faster than you could blink.
You almost got shot by a Confederate ghost. What an asshole.
And now I have this ever growing question in my mind. What happens if a ghost shoots you?
Bad things. The real question
I,
is
I would I would
here,
hazard to guess.
here's my question then. So the ghost of this Confederate guy, obviously, he died, but does that mean that the gun also died? That works somehow in the afterlife, and also the horse died too? How does that work?
I don't know. I have zero idea. But I really kind of want to go back, get shot by the ghost, just to find out what happens.
Yeah, but what if you end up? What if it wasn't actually a ghost and it was some homeless guy? So and then you end up actually shot and in the hospital because you wanted to get shot by a ghost.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't very far from me, and I had from where the musket shot was. I had like a clear view of where that flash came from. There was no way it was a homeless person.
Interesting. Well, if you ever go back
All I
and
know is
want to get shot by a ghost, bring like a GoPro and put it on your chest or something like that, and record the whole thing.
Right.
Big
And let
boy.
someone know if
seems
I don't
to
come
be-
back within 48 hours, the ghost probably killed me, and you should just come get the footage and run.
All right.
The GoPro and run. It seems to be a running theory that when you die, you kind of keep what you have with you. But then again, that doesn't make sense for people that like die in a car accident. Do you keep your car with you? You know? So it's hard to say if they would have their own gun or not. They probably would be as, I don't know how to say this, whatever they needed to think themselves as a complete person. So a soldier would have his gun. That makes him a complete person.
So if I die with my smartphone, can I just post on Twitter from the afterlife? That'd make me feel complete.
You can try, but I bet the connection's bad. But you don't get a connection at all.
Afterlife doesn't have good Wi-Fi.
Just haunt someone with really good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm sure, that we've had smartphones and stuff long enough now. I'm sure there are people now that see ghosts that are carrying around smartphones and that are just walking around looking down at their hands.
That could be. It could be. So, yeah, it looks like we're getting to the wrap-up time, and I want to advertise one more thing that's upcoming, so saved it for the end.
Absolutely.
Are either of you familiar with...
Oh, just one more.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
okay.
go ahead, Seth.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was going to ask you one more just quick but random question.
Oh, sure.
So, We're in a world where alligators and crocodiles can fly.
Oh my
How do you think humanity were fair and why?
Uh,
Oh my god.
well, I've seen Sharknado, so couldn't be that different.
Because the sharks in Sharknado fly.
But could you just imagine you just living in a world and all of a sudden they develop flight and you hear just "Eesh," and then the person standing beside you now no longer has a head. You're like, um, um, excuse me, but what?
Again, I've seen Sharknado, so it can't be that different. But who
Worse
knows?
than bird poop. That's what I have to say about it.
That's
Worse than bird poop.
yeah. So, have either of you seen the YouTube urban legend video? I feel fantastic.
I do not believe so.
No.
Well, the original video has been taken down for a bit now, but essentially, around 2009 to 2012, there was a huge explosive viral video trend of this one video called I Feel Fantastic going around, and it is this android just in a room singing a really off-key song, and nobody knew where it came from or what its deal was. Through investigation over the years, people found out. Well, actually, no. First, I should bring up the fact that people immediately thought that it was something horror related or like.
Oh, that.
You know what it is? You know.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, yeah.
PA, do you know what it is?
No.
Filia, can you link PA what we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just not sure which one, because there's a couple that, or yeah, I will.
I'll link it to him after. But yeah, it was basically this android singing this really weird song. Had really. Oh, and the important part is, most of the shot was just of this android in various outfits and poses and stuff during this music video. But at one point, there was this really mysterious shot of a camera zooming into a backyard, and there was no real explanation for this given in this video. The video description was something that wasn't really that telling, not really factually informative. And for years, people came up with this rumor, this unverified rumor, that this was a video made by a serial killer who kidnapped people, put them in a forest, in a hole in the forest, and used their clothes to dress the android. And whenever the victims would scream, he'd put up a microphone that would trigger this android that says, I feel fantastic. But none of that is true. I'm just going to say outright, none of that is true. What me and a couple of other people have found out who have been investigating this over the years, me more recently, them over the years, is that this android was actually made by a robotics engineer called John Bergeron, who has been very elusive because he's been very hurt about all the rumors about him being a serial killer and everything. But two major developments have happened over the last few months. One, we found the original Terror the Android, which is the android seen in the music video, and that is being mailed to somebody who I am in contact with. And two, me and a couple other people have finally managed to track down who we assume is the real John Bergeron, and hopefully I, next week, am going to interview John Bergeron from
Oh my god.
from his work in robotics all the way back to 2004 to the 2009 viral I Feel Fantastic video, and now he's finally going to speak out about the whole thing, hopefully, if I can get to interview him next week. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited. Hopefully John agrees to an interview. He said that so far he's given me I'll think about it, and I'll keep everybody updated as to what is going to happen with that. And yeah, it's very, very exciting that I get to hopefully interview somebody who indirectly caused a viral YouTube horror legend. So.
Because you got up early for us today?
What did you say?
I said I would get up early for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Whatever he wants to do. He doesn't really use the internet a lot because he's been chased off of it because of the whole serial killer thing. So I'll have to phone call him at some point. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. And hopefully it'll spread the message around to anybody who still thinks he's a serial killer, as, you know, he's not. He was just a robotics engineer who wanted to advertise his product by making music videos. And yeah.
And people took it the wrong way.
People took it the wrong way, and they harassed him, and, you know, the internet did what the internet sometimes does. But hopefully...
So it's kind of like the origin story to Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know where that came from.
No, I can see what you mean. But yeah, hopefully I will have a chance to help correct that rumor and definitively end the whole serial killer thing about John Bergeron, because he really did not deserve any of it. So, see how that goes. And if anybody wants to keep up with that, keep an eye on my YouTube channel and my Twitter and Discord and all that. Midnight Researcher on YouTube and Twitch. mresearch_YT on Twitter, and yeah, my Discord is just linked through my profile, so you can just find that there. So that's what I'm going to be up to, hopefully, this week.
That's so cool. Well, thank you
really
so
awesome,
much.
dude. Oh.
Thank you so much for being with us, and for I don't know if you people realize this, but with Mia not here, we don't have anybody behind the yellow line. Midnight Researcher is actually doing the tech work for his own interview.
Right.
He had to host his own interview.
Yay! Thank you, because we wouldn't have had a show without you.
You're welcome.
But thank you for being here. And
let me just say that I hope Mia's okay wherever she is. I'd like to keep updated on like what happened to her, and hopefully she's okay and she can make a return to whenever you guys do the show again. And like PA had said a couple weeks ago when we were trying to nail the show down initially, I'm always open to be a guest on the show, or if you need somebody to host the show, I can. Like, I had very little time today, but given more time, I can get the music and stuff all set up, so it'll be more like a regular show instead of just a bootleg like we're doing right now. So yeah, absolutely, just hit me up anytime and I can be a part of the show.
it would be fun to have you as one of the panelists to ask questions. Put you on our side of the mic.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And I want to thank, since we're going for the outro here, I'm going to want to thank everybody who's shown up in chat. So we have had Jellybean, A Right Struggle, Dexter, General. Most of these are Dexter. That's fine. We like Dexter. CCG.
Yeah.
Josie. And according to my log, the 8 other anonymous people who never posted in chat but came on. So thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
It was. So just a quick note, if you want to host a show or do a show and you don't feel it fits on your channel, contact us at the Nevermore Collective, and we can get you set up with a one-of or a series or, gaming live streams or whatever you want. Contact us, The Raven Dreams, PA Nightmares, Mina, myself, Filia Noctis, Creepy Clown Girl, The Sleeping Wendigo, Seth, Midnight Researcher. He can get you pointed in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, once you join the collective, you can leave. Nevermore.
Nevermore. So this has been, for my little outro, this has been me, Seth, the Midnight Researcher. Thanks everybody for watching. See you all around, and I'll leave it up to these two to exit us.
Go ahead, take it out.
PA.
Yeah, what?
Say goodbye.
Oh, you guys didn't sign off?
No.
All right, guys, you all have a good night. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week with a special interview. I won't give away the surprise just yet, but you guys will want to join in.
Okay, everybody. Bye.
See ya.